Pepperoni, a 14-year-old quarter horse gelding, won't be ridden in a left-hand position and supposedly sees coyotes lurking everywhere when out on a trail ride. See? Riding through water is also an absolute no-go for little Peppy. Can Ariane help a Western rider too?
Yes, we have a new guest with us. This is Pepperoni. Pepperoni is a quarter horse.
Quarter horse, yes.
And there are some problems, I've heard. I've already seen a few videos that you sent me, and you could see quite a bit in his gait, including an extreme physical crookedness. That's one thing I could see, and now I'm curious to see what else comes up. So what's the main problem?
Well, the main problem is actually that, well, to the right, he's wonderful. He lets himself be positioned, goes in all gaits on the right hand. But the left is the problem, right? So on the left, he hardly lets himself be positioned at all. Sometimes you can get him over. You can see, even just standing still, that he somehow turns his head away to the left a bit. Somehow on the right, he comes around in a proper arc. And the faster you go, the less he brings his head around, and eventually he just blocks completely. And if you keep pushing against that, then his temperament probably comes out. Or what I also think is that he's just in pain somewhere. I think he's been through a lot where he was, well, let's say pushed too hard. Yeah, he was a bit very explosive, I'd say. But that extreme explosiveness has subsided quite a bit. But when I get to those points that he just can't ride through, he shows it very clearly, right?
And that issue with the left-hand position, has it been like that for a long time? Or did it come on gradually? Did you buy him like that?
That's how I bought him. Actually, I just wasn't really aware of it somehow.
Is it possible for you to ride him for me a bit, or is it too dangerous? That he'll explode, or that you're risking something there?
No, not at all. Not at all.
That would be doable.
I mean, I can really ride him on the arena with a clear conscience anytime, somehow.
In the arena, you said, where does it not work?
Well, out on the trail, I'd be more cautious. When I'm alone, if we're in a group, then he goes along too. Only when some, well, let's say bigger events happen that he can't quite judge. You know, it could even be a cow that's far away, or even horses that are far off. So he's always looking to see if he can find something. And then he keeps a sharp lookout and tenses up. And once he's tensed up like that, it's really hard to get him out of it.
So he's actually looking for things to get upset about?
Yes.
Okay. Is there anything else besides the left-hand position? So I've heard that I should also look into osteopathy and see that the left positioning improves. Is there anything else that would be, so to speak, a wish of yours?
No, I'd like him to be more relaxed, you know?
We're going to basically take him apart, more or less, over the next few days, and then we'll just see what approaches we have. For me, it's always very important that when you take him back home, you can really continue doing things. Because it doesn't help me if you always have to come here. Instead, you have to manage 365 days of daily life with him in such a way that it actually keeps getting better. I say, let's get started. I'm really curious. Is this actually the first Western horse here? I actually wouldn't have even suspected that one would come. Yes, all the treats are in there. You've already noticed them in my vest. There, that's fine. Great. Super. You're such a little hothead. I can't even imagine it. So, I can't even imagine it. Such a little hothead. I think I'll put it on from the other side. I can get the swing better that way.
So this one, I even bought him with this. It was fitted to him when he was small, or when he was just about fully grown, when he was being ridden well. And it's actually supposed to provide shoulder freedom because he's such a reining type who actually, he can really stop well. He can turn well. He can do it relatively fast too, but I haven't trained much with him. It's my
Inside of them, oh, I see. That's when they're on their hindquarters. It's a canter pirouette in slow motion.
Yes, and they basically just fly around themselves. But he can't do it well because something isn't quite right with his shoulder either. He's always a bit jerky there. And
The hocks have to play along too.
yes, exactly. Then I'll just take my new acquisition, this miler bit here. I don't want to annoy you any longer with any other stories.
He ran much better with that.
I really had something in my hand. He's always strongly against it, of course. He can't round himself well. But he accepts it and doesn't jerk his head all the way up.
Have you already tried anything for the positioning? Has an osteopath been here before?
Maybe a trainer?
Ever been here? We've done osteopathy quite often, also by a really good osteopath. But yeah, well, over the years, nothing has really happened there. And that's also the reason why I'd really like to come here now so you can look at it all at once. Did what I did achieve anything? Do I maybe need to do something else? So that you can actually track it like that. What might one thing or another do, right?
Was there an improvement right after the treatment? Or was it not noticeable at all?
Not really. I don't know. Maybe it's the teeth, but he sees the dentist once a year, to have them filed down.
But we'll check all of that too. I can't look all the way up, but there are certain tests for the jaw joint and the pole and everywhere. Because we've often seen that the front teeth are nice and round, but further up, it becomes a disaster. And if there's a suspicion of pain and sensitivity to pressure in the jaw joint, then I'd say, man, I'd maybe have someone else take another look at that.
Yeah. Go back. Come on, go back. Go back.
Now I have to learn English too.
Yeah, they like that.
It's all good.
They like English.
Next question, that was to the left. He can go around there. So it's only in combination with the bridle and reins that he can't do it. Good, all right. It doesn't have to be forever, but
No, it's quick with him. He doesn't need long to warm up or anything. I mean, of course he'd need it if he were doing gymnastics now, right? If he were doing lateral work or
yeah.
being flexed, right?
Is there something you could show now, like this is the problem, or can you not trigger it like that?
Yes, I think so. Okay, that we can figure out the issue, just that we might not provoke it so much now. But he gets all fussy or something, right? I could demonstrate that too, but then I'd have to use the other bridle. I don't think he does it with this one. And I don't think he gets anything out of that either.
That's not the point of it anyway. For me, it's just about seeing how you work on, for example, trying to flex them to the left. Exactly. Then I can already get an idea. We don't want to get him to the point where we see spectacular things here. No, that doesn't help anyone.
No, but you can see he flexes differently to the right and left in the gaits too, right?
Okay. You can even go for a little ride out here.
Yes, I'd love to. I don't know if you do this in classical riding too so you see, now I'm checking if the head comes over here.
Yeah.
But the shoulder shouldn't come along right way. With him, it comes then and here. The head already comes poorly. Here, he's tilting aside.
Yeah.
But here he comes right over completely. And the head doesn't come along at all.
You actually want that? So? In classical riding, it's flexion and bending so that I'm basically riding on a straight line, can position the head somewhere, but the horse still keeps walking straight ahead.
Exactly.
And that's what he doesn't do. When you pull his head around, he follows right along.
The whole shoulder comes right with it. And on this side, it's just very extreme. He tips right over, right? So if he fixes on something now, it gets difficult too.
So, but it's still basically the same as in English riding. Also, that when the right rein is taken, they should actually chew down to the right, into the position, and left too. So it's really no different then.
He does, but then he just dives down so diagonally, right? He kind of snaps his head like that to do it.
Well, what we've already seen is that he's really also crooked from above, like when you look from behind. Right. We saw that in the photos you sent, that the left side really stands quite differently than the right. And I think that, of course, makes it difficult for him too. Yeah, so what I can already see is that really, in terms of reposition or the influence, Western riding isn't actually all that different. So here, the goal is also that when you take the right rein, the horse actually chews down to the right. If you take the left, it chews down to the left. And I'll just see how I work on that over the next few days so that it works more easily. And of course, I've also made a little plan where we might be able to add a little bonus on top. Let's see.
If I actually, let's say, for example, just let him go long, well, then it's also really no problem at all, right? But I'm also quite happy, I'd say. He really accepts this bit better.
I don't know if this is normal now. Well, I'm used to the bit not hanging out so far on the sides. Is that different in Western, or is it just really too big?
I'm afraid it's too big.
Okay. So now I know what you mean, though. That means for us, he tilts at the pole. He moves his mouth around, but the pole actually stays straight ahead.
Yes.
Now he's slowly giving in.
Exactly. The head and nose come around.
Was.
But the forehead stays straight, right?
So we call that tilting.
Yes.
For us, it's also a fault.
Yes.
So what's the aid for starting the trot?
Well, it's a lot with the voice.
Okay.
So I can take my legs away and just... Well, then he does nothing.
Okay. It's already like that. That, I think, it's also different. So we basically hold our aid.
Exactly.
And I once heard that in Western riding, I don't know if it's true, you only give them at the start and then no more.
Exactly. And then you do a lot through the legs, using leg pressure so that they straighten up again. So they carry themselves then, right?
Good, but it's actually quite similar. Everything's actually quite simpler. So I think you could also get on one of ours that's ridden English style and you wouldn't have any trouble at all.
We can also try some lateral movements, show you a little something.
So in here, it's also the case that he's basically yielding to the left leg now. You're doing more now, driving more with the left leg, and he's yielding away from it.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Exactly. We can also make it a bit smaller, right?
Yeah, I don't think we'll have any problems then.
No, why? Read.
How long have you had him now?
I've had him for 7 years already.
Then you've already achieved quite a lot with him, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
It doesn't look forced or squeezed at all, or out of rhythm.
He's already quite refined, too, but then he just shuts down at certain points, you know? I can try to go into a canter. This is his weaker side.
Yes.
And then he doesn't come down.
Mm-hmm.
Very well.
Exactly, that's left, okay.
Well, then here he is.
You can see there that on the upper left, the muscles are really tensing up and bulging, showing he's not flexible there. You can see that quite well.
Now every step is a struggle.
Uh-huh.
Practically. So, yeah, it's not very nice. Neither for sitting nor for him, I think.
Mm-hmm. I hope I don't only want to ride Western after this.
Yes, you can see right away he moves into it better, right? On this side. And here he can also jump right into the canter.
Yes, that's true.
And stays down, right?
Yes. So if I'm seeing this correctly, he yields faster on the left side. So when you do something with the left rein, he yields quicker.
Yes, exactly.
Yields more delicately. And combined with his crookedness, for me, theoretically speaking, he should also react faster and more delicately to the left leg.
Yes,
So that he doesn't immediately drift inward with his shoulder.
he's super chill at times. Sometimes he's so tuned out that he's just in his own world. Man, even a little thing happens and...
Yeah, so nice. A very likable little horse, isn't he?
Yes, I thought, no, I just have to check on him again somehow. Because he's a sweetie. He's a great one.
Yes. So what often happens when they're so extremely crooked is that you really have to realign and stabilize the joints every single day. With a misalignment, after stabilizing, I bring it back, and that really takes 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Because if you only do it once, well, regarding the muscles and all that, I don't need to tell you. You know that yourself. If you really walk buckled over for a long period of time, and now someone comes and pushes all the joints straight again, then I straighten up for a moment. And then comes the musculature that's been doing that for years or for months. And then it'll immediately go back to that. That's now cask.
The start for now.
That as soon as I let him run differently once, the muscles immediately have the chance to pull everything in the wrong direction again.
Yeah.
Once everything is loose, you can correct everything further through the lateral movements you're doing here.
Sure.
It would be different if you didn't have the riding level for it. But I just saw that you do have it. Meaning muscle stretching, bringing all the joints in the right direction.
Yeah.
And then
Come here.
I have no idea what all can be done.
Yeah.
With, except from what's on TV.
So what else can we get packed in? Come on, let's do some turns first. Come on.
Yeah, that's enormous.
Back and... Oh, sorry. That would go faster if we trained it.
Probably, but it's quite extreme because one hind leg really stays put.
Yeah, that's right. You know.
It stays put and turns with it. That's crazy.
But when they do it at those shows, they turn so fast.
Yeah, it's so fast you can't even see it like that.
Turn.
With us, it's like these pirouettes are like a semicircle. So that they don't, if they were to turn, there would be an immediate joint deduction. But in Western, it would probably be the other way around.
They're digging themselves a hole where they spin.
All right, that's enormous.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long does a Western horse last doing those fast turns all the time? I imagine that's incredibly strenuous for the hind legs.
Yeah. Well, they say that if they're ridden at such a high performance level, they're just done. Around his age, Ron?
Yeah, you can't even imagine that he'd be skittish or out on the trail and all that, right? So that's really enormous.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious.
That he's worked himself up once somehow, right?
Yeah. So I'm really curious now.
He can be soaking wet from a walk on the trail after half an hour. Under the saddle.
Yeah, it's getting really exciting. I've seen quite a lot of what's possible. I think, is he called Peppy or really Peppy? Peppy? I thought so. But otherwise, I have the feeling that he reacts quite well to leg and weight. And now it's really about the left positioning. And I think that's a physical correction. Simply, that has to take place here. And I'm quite optimistic about that. Because,
Nice.
I'm curious how it feels on a Western saddle.
Yes. Would you like to sit on him and try out what it's like in a Western saddle?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, man. I'll take a look. Oh, that's crazy. A trademark of mine. Trademark.
Exactly. Now I'm annoyed that I bought the bit so big, but I don't think it matters. He can be stubborn.
Doesn't matter, me too. The first exercise for me now would be, I'll keep light contact and just wait until he gives in.
Yes, yes, absolutely. On that side, it's really quite a stubborn matter, honestly.
So, yeah,
Then he goes into his inner mode a bit too.
come here.
Oh, yes.
Gil, look.
Look here. Look, 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 look. You. Look. Look. That side is worth it.
To get going, I click my tom a bit. To trot, I use my leg a bit and click my tongue too.
Okay.
And at a gallop, you actually hardly have to do anything. And yeah, sometimes hands forward somehow and a little kiss.
And you also use the outside leg to start the gallop. Once in the back, you do that too. Up, up. Fine, well done. Great. Oh, he already wants to go left to the cameraman.
Yes.
Fine. We'll go there too, right? I'll try things out a bit here. Fine, well done. So what's really crazy is he's actually small for me. I'm always on 1.80 meters. But it doesn't feel like that to me at all now.
No.
I still have my heel here by the belly.
Yes.
No, with many other large horses that are built so narrow, I have nothing to drive with. So, that's nice. Great. Good, great, wonderful. Yes, indeed. That's nice. Uh-huh, yes. Okay. Yes. Good boy. You could definitely keep this up for a long time, right?
One.
It's really amazing. What do you do to stop? Do you just sit back?
And a little weight back, a light pull on the reins.
Maybe, if he doesn't react.
Actually, they should almost do it by voice like that, right?
Great job. Super.
And he can also stop hard. You shouldn't be startled when he actually does it.
Now we'll see if Ariane also cuts a good figure in a Western saddle.
Well done. Great. That's nice. Come on, let's do the other side once. And then I'll have a little check.
Yeah.
Now English meets Western. That is quite amazing. I have to get the hang of it now, of course. It's exactly the same.
The idea is the same.
So exactly the same thing. And regarding the reins, I think I'm more like Western riders anyway, because I also use the outside rein. For example, I don't do that holding on the outside.
No, we don't do that either. So it's always a question of, is it a training stage right now, or is it supposed to be the final result?
It looks like Ariane has also discovered her talent as a cowgirl.
That's a good boy. So, and now keep your shoulder right there. Great, super, excellent. Very fine little horse.
Yes.
Seal is very fine. The canter was a bit of a scare just now, because first it was like this and then whoa.
Yeah.
That looked good.
Yeah, that looked quite good just now. Now we to the left.
Well, so I think it's really the left leg. I'm noticing now that he's very sensitive to the leg on the right. And on the left, I had to be very firm to say, hey, Your shoulder, it stays right there. He kept wanting to go out that way. He kept wanting to go on the trail.
Yeah, well, he actually likes being outdoors on the other side, right? Then he also moves quickly, walking with brisk steps.
How does he do with water?
Water? No, but I'd like to work on that with him.
Okay, so water isn't really his thing either?
No? You're staying right here where the treats are, aren't you?
Yeah, it makes the work a lot easier.
When you go over him with a brush like this, he flinches in this area, on both sides.
Uh-huh, okay. All right, I'm gonna go get Peppy now. Peppy is our new guest, and I'm gonna give him an assessment now. See if everything's in the right place and how his muscles look. I'm also gonna try and test out the saddle. It's a Western saddle. With those, you have to look for completely different things. So I'll check that out. And yeah, then I'll probably put him on the lunge line and try the one-sided guide, because that's exactly what he doesn't do, which is actually walking in a circle. And of course, that also shows up as a problem when riding, meaning he ignores the left leg and also ignores the left rein. And that's really why he's here. And the owner's biggest wish is to be able to go out on the trail relaxed. What he's absolutely terrified of: tractors, engine noise, and he's also very spooky in general, which I can't even imagine because he's been very relaxed here so far. So I'm really curious to see how it goes when I try to ride him on the trail, just a little way out and back again, so that I have a starting point for where to apply the training methods, what I'm gonna do, and how I'll structure the whole training program for the next few days. Yeah, so what I've already noticed is that Peppy really licks and sucks with his tongue for quite a while after I give him a treat. He's supposed to have dental checkups every year, so there shouldn't really be any surprises there. But we've seen things differently here before. It's not super sharp on the first two molars, but it's not smooth either. It's rounder on the left side and sharper on the right, at least in the lower area, which would also explain a bit why he's reluctant to bend to the left, because then he'd have to yield to the outside rein, the right one. So I'm basically going up the gum line all the way to the jaw joint. Oh, he doesn't like that. Okay, there's definitely some tension here. I'm really slipping right over it. It's the masseter muscle, so to speak. And often, if there are actually dental hooks underneath, this muscle tenses up and you can feel it clearly. So both jaw joints are sensitive to pain. So for me, that means it's sensitive to pain, sensitive to pressure. He doesn't like going left, stiffens up right away, so it could definitely be related to an issue with the upper teeth, where I would then just have an equine dentist take a look. Yes, good boy. There are treats in there, right? You're doing that very well. So also the occiput, meaning the occipital bones, aren't parallel to each other, but they're basically shifted. The left one is further back than the right one. He left his ears be touched. Nice. Sometimes if horses have mites or something like that in their ears, they won't let you touch them there or don't like being bridled. So what I notice first is really this strand here, which is really quite swollen. You can really see that, and it was also clearly visible during the riding demonstration. This is the left side. And if this is such a thick strand here, and he's supposed to soften that way, now it's really popping out, as you can see here, this whole area. And of course, that makes it hard to move well. And you saw that during the riding too, that he does come in this direction, but his pole still turns in the other direction. That's quite massive. So over the next few days, I'll try to get some relaxation in there so he just has more movement. Lower lip is already relaxing. Feels good, right? So the shoulder blades up here, I'm checking if they're at the same height. It almost looks that way. So the only thing I notice is that on the left side, there's really a thick swelling right on top here. It's not as strong over here. Wow, that feels good, right? Touching is good, right? Yeah, look at this. We can definitely get rid of that, right? So, and what you can ultimately also do a bit of there is simply stimulate the skin. Good, right? Right, just with a little pressure and, well, stroke along it with a little pressure. They usually find that quite pleasant. And you can also clearly see that in the gait. Right, it's really worn down here. So it's not straight, but always slanted. So always bent to the right and following a tendency for a right circle. He's just already wearing down his hooves here. And that's how it's set up here too. It's not centered on it, but it's slightly offset to the outside. And from that, you can always see quite well how he's actually really positioned. And of course, to do a retraining now so that he also really walks to the left and also honestly walks to the left, that's always a very long process. And it's very important that the owner continues afterwards, of course, because he's 14 now. And I found out about this left-leaning position earlier. He was already bought with that. That's naturally a very long period of time, which of course can't be fixed in 1 week or 2 weeks. So, and just this touching with a little more pressure and very slowly seems to please him very much. He breathes through quite often, licks and chews. Yes, then I'll start now by addressing his crookedness. That's supposed to be a huge problem. Yes, and it's also planned to ride a small section of cross trail once, just to get an impression of how he behaves, what he does. He doesn't know it here at all. So it's basically like trail riding so that we can then see how what else we'll include a bit in our training program over the next few days, right? So that something really great comes together here again. So the only thing that's different for me now, of course, is that he's just a Western horse, and they're supposed to go relatively flat. That means I'm not going to move him now, here, to pick up more speed than what was shown to me today. So, and according to the statement, he's not supposed to be able to walk a proper circle and not really be able to position and bend. He's doing that quite well right now. So, and then I'll ask him very slowly at a walk first here on my lunge line. Ah, yes, he's already heard something. He's already shifted into a higher gear. A motorcycle is passing by. And now I'll just see what he says when I drive him out here. He's tensing up there. No. So I just want, that's nice, great. You don't need to worry, right? Now, like here. So I want him to basically in the shoulder. Yes, fine. Good boy. Bend in the shoulder area and basically drift outwards. So drift away from me. Yeah, that's fine. Good boy. Great. Excellent. And drift away from me. You're doing great. So, and I want him to let himself drop in the front so that this tension in the neck also goes away. Away from me, away from me. Good boy. Well, I'm definitely not going to use a Western saddle for the crookedness correction because it just sits way too unsettled on his back. That wasn't a problem at all earlier during the test ride. When you sat on it, it didn't move up and down at all. But now, without any weight on top, it's too unstable for me. And if I imagine I had that on my back and was supposed to walk relaxed and calm and also flex and bend, I'd have my problems with that too if something was constantly thumping on my back. Yes, ultimately, the test continues now. Of course, checking how skittish he is here. I've scattered oats everywhere beforehand. So there's oats on the logs and there's oats back by the water. That means if he actually goes there, he'll find something nice. And I'm hoping a bit now that he really makes that connection and approaches new things more calmly and happily in the future so that we can then also start our motor training. For that, he should of course, at least be able to walk safely in a circle here. Yes, you're a good boy, aren't you? Yes. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. You're doing well, aren't you? Yes, look here. Oh, great, right? Oh, it's nice. The size is great, of course. You can just mount like this, right? So look here, left flexion, left rein. What do you do then? What does he do then? Bites on it and does nothing at all. Come on, look. A little bit. You remembered something, didn't you? So, look. Yes. Yes, he should associate the left rein with something great. And I can do that wonderfully by just taking it up, and when he comes around, he just gets a little treat. So I'm just gonna see what happens when I ride down here. I just hold on to the warn. Maybe that's what those things are for. Oh, look. Yes, yes. Come here, let's go over there. So he should be able to jump to the side quite quickly. If he gets stressed, I was warned, he might also go backwards, but very, very fast. Or even spins. He's learned that too, of course. On the hindquarters. So I'll just tell him, come on, go over there. Take a look at it. I hope the head of that wooden horse doesn't move in a second. Good boy, look at that. Go on. You saw it, didn't you? Look at that. Great. It's good, like, when you find such tasty things everywhere. And that's always quite nice. They actually start to expect something tasty everywhere. And if I haven't placed something somewhere, I at least always have treats in my pocket so that I can really maintain this ritual, no matter where I am. Here, left rein. Good boy. Yeah, it's also information from the owner that he sometimes walks around very much in his own world and then suddenly gets spooked because he has a brief moment of alertness. And I'd really like him to be alert the whole time and just look around. Where is something? Where might I get something? And I'm just trying to pique his interest a little bit. So he seems to see the oats already. Look at that. Let's see if you find the next oats. They're over by the water. Yeah, come here. Oh, look. Water. Wow, look, there's oats there too. Yeah, go take a look. Go take a look. Oh, the frogs are hopping there. Yeah. I have to adjust to it a little bit, of course. Oh, look at that. Great. Are you maybe a little thirsty too? Go on, go take a longer. Go take a look. Yeah. Forward. Good boy.
Anyone who has seen this situation before might already suspect that it could take a very long time now.
So I'll just see. I'll annoy him just a little bit until he takes another small step forward. Doesn't have to be with pressure, but just very lightly. Yeah, now I'm getting to know him a bit. Too much pressure for him, she told me. He doesn't want that. He's going backwards. Horse, horse. Maybe he'd like to go into the water backwards. It'd wait. And await him. And away. And back. Back. And back. Good. Great job. Are we in yet? Yep. Feels good, huh? Yeah, feels good, right? And back. And back we go. Yeah, look at that. Wait. Super. Stay right there. Yeah, look at that. Wait a sec. Look here. Look what I've got. Look at that. Look, look. Yeah, come on. Okay, and forward. And back. And back. And back. Oh, you're taking a really deep breath. Yeah, look, you're already asking where it is, huh? Yeah, you'll get some. Wait a moment. Look, right here. Look how nicely you can bend yourself here. Yeah, fine. Good job. Come here. I'll get the next one out already. There. So, how's it looking? Want to put your nose down? Now, rather get out, huh? There.
And whoever thought that forward was the same as backward had the same thought as we did.
And that. What? And back. And back. And back. And back. And back. Fine. That's great. Whoa. Wow. Look at this. So, look at that. Perfect, right? Super. Great job. All right, come here. Yeah, come here. Good, come here. Look. So, look. Good, right? Look. Well, there, that leg. Yeah, and back. Fine, very slowly. And back. And back. Good job. That's great. And whoa. Whoa. Yeah. But he's looking, right? Water means treats. Come here. Great. Super. And back. And back. And back. Careful. Careful. So, come here. Nice and easy. Right? Super. Come on. Awesome. Super. Come out where I'm steering you. Great. Super. One more time, since he just stopped there. Exactly. I think this wading in the water is really good for him. You can really tell how he's struggling to balance himself and is really swaying. Oh, great, super. And he always wants to pull to the right. Yeah, if you go through, there'll be nice grass at the end again. Great. Awesome. Super. Come on, back to eating. Exactly. Now I'm curious. We're approaching the mattress. Let's see what he says. Actually, Western horses are usually more relaxed, but he's already looking. He's a little bit wary of it. Let's see. Oh yeah, what's that? What is that? He's asking, right? Your eyes are getting big, aren't they? Yeah, his breathing's up. What do you think is over there? If you go over there, yeah, perk up those little ears of yours. Open your eyes and flare your nostrils. Maybe you can smell what's there. Yeah, I'm curious. Look at that. Yeah, so where there was puffing and wide eyes and snorting just a moment ago, now he's heading straight for it. Let's try it from the other side. I think Western riding is taking over now, and now he has to stretch a bit further to reach it. Maybe even step on it. I have to adjust to it a bit. Ah, look at that. How's it looking? Can we trudge across there? Or is it the same as with the pond? Yeah, come on. Good boy. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Well done. So I'll put it all together one more time and then we're done. So I'm confident that we can really manage everything here, even with the loud noises, because with food and a bit of patience and calm, I think we'll get him there. And when he wants to go towards it himself, like with the mattress just now, that's great, of course. All that's left is the left bend, right? We'll manage that too. Good boy. Very nice. Ah, there's the tractor. Goodness gracious. We have to go back again. We have to do it again. There, that's nice. And keep going. Great. Super. Yeah, I'm really thrilled. Peppy did a super good job. I think it was just a PS, a little battle of who has the most patience. But we mastered that really well. We did go in backwards, but then it wasn't an issue anymore. And I noticed that he's now really approaching all the logs with his ears pricked. And also straight to the wooden horse here, because he just suspects there's something nice there. And if necessary, I have something in my pocket so he can have something. That was really good. I imagined it would be worse by now. It could still happen, I don't know. But what he did today was really good. Right, Deppis? Now you've earned your evening off, haven't you? And then we'll continue tomorrow. Today, I'd like to check the saddle once because it felt very strange yesterday. And I'd also like to see it again. And yeah, I'll just put Vicky on it to see if it really looks the way it feels. You always get a real jolt in the back under your butt. And it's somehow very uncomfortable, especially at a gallop. So this saddle is incredibly heavy. You really strain yourself lifting it. I'd estimate it at about 15 kilograms. Always a lot of pressure. But even here, I can just reach through in the middle. Here's the main pressure point, also back here. So there's really a bridge here. Back here, I get a lot of weight again. From a purely functional point of view, if I imagine I'm on all fours and I have the saddle on here, such a pressure point, then I can't really do that anymore. And from what I can see, this saddle is also crooked. What would personally bother me is that the pelvic bone is here in the front. And if he's supposed to do a left bend now, or also start a left lead canter, then the left hind leg has to step far forward. And the pelvic wing also needs plenty of space to be able to reach forward at all. And I imagine that's very difficult here because it hits against this and gets blocked very quickly in the whole process. So I'm going to take a look at this now with Vicky in the saddle to see how it really looks in motion. And of course, I also want to know if he'll go through the water moving forward. Just because of the saddle alone, I wouldn't want to be a Western horse. I mean, just having that thing tossed on is already a bad start to a ride, in my opinion, because the horse has to immediately brace itself when that saddle thuds onto its back. And looking at it right here, the pad is even further back than this rim. That means the hip has even less room and is really hitting against it. As I said, it's very important that he's ridden with a loose rein and that you only take it up when you're, for example, positioning him. And then I did it exactly like we do with our horses, giving way nicely on the outside and only bringing him in on the inside. Exactly. Just get settled in first, okay? Just try it out a bit.
How do you even hold Western mans?
Actually, they really just sit there in front. And in the end, you're doing it just like we do with ours. Right, and he's here because he won't let himself be positioned to the left. And when you position him to the left, well, what just happened was actually a surprise to me. During the online consultation, I already suspected and mentioned that I thought Peppy was bloated, that he had a lot of lymphatic congestion, and possibly even a lot of gas in his cecum because he had such a voluminous belly. And his shoulder was so swollen when he first arrived here. And just now, I actually had to tighten the cinch by a whole hole compared to yesterday. And the shoulder isn't nearly as puffed up anymore. A lot of fluid is already drained out. It's really incredible. Great. So what I already find totally amazing is that he's actually positioning himself now. That means we've been working on releasing his cervical spine today and yesterday. And that already seems to be working really well, so that even Vicky can position him with just small cues. For example, turning onto the center line, positioning him to the left, but he continues straight on the center line. Look where you want to go. Great. Give him some praise. Really good. Do you notice a difference between right and left?
No, not really. No, left is just as easy as right.
How does it feel? In the Western saddle?
It's great.
I think Vicky's going to be a Western rider now. Now we just unfortunately have a jumping horse.
But I want to jump too.
Exactly. That's the trot.
Oh, this is wonderful.
Heels away from the...
You feel like you're about to fly out of the saddle, but somehow you stay in, and it's actually comfortable. How do you transition back down?
By putting a little tension towards the back and also taking up the reins just a tiny bit. So, and it's just like with us, you take him up lightly. Is he following you? Pray. Good. So now he's not being honest yet. Did you notice? He turned his muzzle, but he didn't turn his pole with it. Can you also give a little? And he stays there anyway. Exactly. Look at that. Super. Great. Give him some praise. Great. You can give him a treat, but please, don't just hold it out, but take up the left rein very lightly. And when he gives, he gets it. Look, he already knows. You take up the left, and he comes right over when you take him a bit on the left. I would then start with the right hand in the canter. Super job. And remember, if you ever do this at a faster gait, right, and you do the whoa, and he suddenly slams on the brakes. So you don't fly over the front.
Yeah.
Right?
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, I think Vicky has a little Western rider in her. I hope she doesn't want to switch over now.
Whoa.
Great, but I actually really enjoyed that yesterday too. So great, give him some praise. Well, how is it?
Oh, super.
So, whoa, look at how that felt there. Praise him well, great. Good. Great. And he also couldn't transition into canter well on the left side. That looked really, really good just now. How is it? Is it just like on the right?
Yes, even more comfortable.
Can you also flex him slightly in the canter?
I'll try it out.
Good. Nice pry, right? Exactly. Means he has to now a bit. Yes, moving into the side is, yes, good. As soon as he gives, praise him immediately. Yeah, that looks quite different already. Even the canter transition to the left isn't so jerky anymore. Vicky's having fun and also continuing the canter. He's even chewing down into the stretch now in the left canter. And that was also something that didn't really work at all. I'm really proud of him for doing that already.
To go easy on Vicky, Ariane didn't just rely on Peppy going through the water again right away, but positioned herself on the other side with a bowl of oats just in case.
Come on. Okay. We've really passed the first water test now, also with Vicky. And now I'm actually curious to see if he'll actually tackle the next water here immediately. Or if we have to train it just like the other body of water. Let's see. I think we found the key. Oats. With that, he can position himself, he can bend, he can go through water, he can do everything with that.